You're fighting it right now. You don't want to do this.
Symbolically nicknamed the Texas Machine, Vergil Ortiz Jr. is programmed for one thing: knockouts.
Minute mark. Nice left hook to the liver, and down goes Salgado.
21 finishes in 23 fights. He doesn't win on points. He shuts opponents down.
Right hand drops you. A lead right hand. He changes the rhythm, and look, another right hand.
He's gone through 3 weight divisions, and in each one, left only wreckage behind.
Body up.
Bangs it with a straight right hand.
But all of that was just preparation.
Trust me.
Ortiz thinks he's got him, and he might have. Back against the ropes.
Because now, he has one goal: to wipe Terence Crawford off the map of the division. Time to meet the KO Machine from Texas, who's coming for the super welterweight throne and has no intention of slowing down. Born in Texas in 1998, Vergil Ortiz grew up surrounded by music and martial arts. But real harmony he found not in a guitar, but in a snapping left hook. From a young age, he collected medals: 7-time U.S. champion, junior Olympic gold. Everything he touched in the ring fell. He wasn't a speed phenomenon. He was a pressure phenomenon. From 2016 to 2018, the system ran flawlessly. Ortiz entered the pros quietly, but instantly activated at full power.
There you see, making a professional debut in the black trunks, Vergil Ortiz, Julio Rodas in the blue, and they're coming up slugging.
Both guys are double parked here.
Oh, right hand drops Rodas. Oh, huge right hand from the...
8 opponents, 8 finishes, no long fights. Each bout, a test launch of the fire module.
You see the eyes, and there he goes down.
He didn't probe for distance. He marched in and erased. Hook, uppercut, liver shot, body work, a minimal toolkit, but all weapons of destruction.
Valenzuela handled that knockout.
Yes!
Golden Boy contract signed. First trainer, foundation drilled, systems aligned.
I wasn't punished, but big right hand to the top of the head.
Then in 2018, the upgrade. Ortiz starts training with Robert Garcia, and from there, the acceleration begins.
Fighting a good fighter brings the best out of you,
After 8 straight stoppage wins, Ortiz steps into his first title fight for the NAV Junior belt.
Underway in our co-feature tonight.
His opponent, Jesus Alvarez Rodriguez, misses weight, but Ortiz doesn't care. He connects with a powerful right hand in the very first round, and Rodriguez hits the canvas.
To the body and went upstairs.
Oh, and he drops Alvarez early in the first.
In round 2, the pressure continues. Vicious body and head attacks.
One of the guys out there that's been there.
More body work. Body up.
And in the third, he ends it. The belt is his.
Wow. Staying up, and that's it. It is over.
Next up, Juan Salgado, a seasoned veteran, tough, battle-tested. But no amount of experience protects from a perfect liver shot.
Don't know how long a fight. He's never seen the fourth
Ortiz drills the left hand, right under the ribs. Salgado goes down and stays down. Knockout in round 3.
minute mark. Nice left hook to the liver, and down goes Salgado.
Fight number 11, a matchup with namesake Roberto Ortiz, an experienced and durable fighter. But in round 2, the system glitches for the opponent. Jab, right cross, knockdown.
Got into the win.
Roberto beats the count, but Vergil doesn't let up. A crushing body barrage, and it's over.
Backward body shot for Vergil. Ortiz.
Fast, accurate, relentless. The referee stops it. No questions asked. At just 21, Ortiz already hunted like a predator, cold-blooded and precise.
Wobbling right at 9.
And in fight 12, for the first time, a corner throws in the towel.
Up into the its combined record, 62.
Valdez Barrayan made it through 5 rounds, but didn't come out for the 6th.
Trying to survive. He's able to slip, but he eats another. It's a hard jab.
Too many shots, too much pressure.
I can't hold how much he'll let this go.
Ortiz kept walking forward without mercy.
And you know what? His corner might want to think about this now.
Next came the men who went the distance with Garcia, Spence, Khan. But against Ortiz, no one survived.
Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner,
Mauricio Herrera, a seasoned veteran, a man who once went the distance with Danny Garcia. Awkward, clever, durable, but not against Vergil.
go the distance with a man.
Rugged fighter.
Different kind of opponent.
His team wants him.
Big left hand from
Round 2, the first knockdown.
there from Herrera and Ortiz, and a huge right hand from Vergil Ortiz, and a big left. Herrera stumbles back. Herrera is under attack from Vergil Ortiz, and he is down.
Round 3, the final pressure dump. Herrera falls. For the first time in his career, stopped.
Followed up by double left. Ortiz just swinging away and connecting cleanly, and Herrera down and out. That
The old style broke. Ortiz rewrote the rules.
This is it is a dangerous fight. Every fight is dangerous. You know, every fight could be your last one. But I mean, let's not jump to conclusions. Let's see what can happen.
Really a power to make the kid feel his power. A sharp, good, solid.
Another challenge for the vacant WBA gold welterweight title against Antonio Orozco, a former title challenger, had never been knocked down until he met Ortiz.
Takes a shot, 13 and sitting on the ropes, but the ref was definitely a step up in class.
Round 6, Orozco hits the canvas 3 times. First, a vicious left to the body, knockdown.
He's landed some clean shots. Digging body. Oh! He dropped him.
Ortiz kept working like a combine harvester. No rush, no breaks.
He's got him in trouble. Nailed him.
WBA gold, now his.
Bangs him with a straight right hand.
This was definitely the hardest fight of my career, and I'm gonna learn a lot from this fight.
Next up, his first title defense, Brad Solomon. Slick, tricky, awkward. Everyone who fought him before struggled with his reach and movement. Ortiz doesn't struggle, he breaks through.
get these cameras back.
Everything he knew about defense collapses under pressure. Round 4, a pinpoint jab. Solomon goes down. Round 5, the pace intensifies. A knockdown after a left-right combo. And moments later, a double left hook sends him crashing again. Fight stopped. Another knockout, another step forward.
Welterweight champion, the fighting pride of Grand Prairie, Texas, USA.
Fight 16, another endurance test. His opponent, Samuel Vargas, a fighter who survived against Khan and Spence. But Ortiz is different.
Going to the middle round, being big too early. He thinks that his skills will cause
7 rounds of constant pressure, no breathing room. He steadily cuts the distance, breaks the body, lands to the head.
can't back up a fighter like that.
Would come at him and be right there to
Come
hit.
over the top of a lazy jab.
In the 7th, the referee steps in.
Strength and speed and all that.
Vargas having a laugh, but he's not smiling now as the 22-year-old starts to unload.
Another dominant win. 2 defenses of the WBA gold belt, both by knockout. Ortiz doesn't just hold the title, he absorbs it and moves forward. The machine is now running at storm power. But what comes next is the real test.
I want all the smoke, and I really don't care who it is. If you're in my division, then you're on my list. Just glove up, and let's use a bit push.
March 2021, a new chapter. Ortiz signs with MTK Global and begins hunting for a major belt, the WBO International. Across the ring, Maurice Hooker, a former world champion, long reach, experience, iron will.
Very raucous home.
already see Hooker's lost.
Handle the first power punch that lands.
But Ortiz fears neither credentials nor size. He burns through the distance, punch by punch, step by step.
Ortiz did it developing naturally, and comes out like a cannon.
Multiplication tables.
Round 6, everything breaks down. First a sweeping right hand, then an uppercut. Hooker retreats. Ortiz follows with a sharp, relentless combination. Precise, brutal, no pauses, knockdown.
Ortiz thinks he's got him and he might have. Back against the ropes. He'll take a knee.
Hooker rises, but the fire in his eyes is gone.
Will the bell save him? 13-7. Hooker's going to slug it out with him. And he survives.
Round 7, body shot, chin shot, silence.
Shots, Todd, are just thudding. He is
and another right hand. That's
Hooker refuses to continue.
And this time,
Ortiz claims his first major title. Protocol complete. Former world champ neutralized.
Junior, the future has arrived at 100.
Ages Mean Machine Kavaliauskas, Olympian, former world title challenger. Tough, heavy-handed. He even rocked Terence Crawford, and against Ortiz, he nearly did it again.
It's going to be hard to separate. No one's been able to last.
Round 2, uppercut and a wide right. Ortiz stumbles.
He has a little bit of a big shot there, right uppercut.
For the first time, the system shows a glitch.
And Ortiz's legs aren't quite right as he holds Oscar's right hand. Swings again, swing and misses on a knockdown.
But instead of crashing, it upgrades.
Ortiz hurts Kavaliauskas to the body now.
Starting round 3, a new version kicks in. Cold-blooded, methodical, unshakable.
Other fighter.
Second round.
End of round 3. A snapping jab, then the finish. Kavaliauskas is dropped.
Need to go back behind the jab, but that's the thing about Kavaliauskas.
Oh, he put it down! He put it down!
Ortiz locks into rhythm, and in round 8 delivers a full-on clinic. Body shots.
Doesn't look great.
Hooks.
Ferocious finisher.
Uppercuts.
to beat Kavaliauskas, get Ortiz.
Again and again, Kavaliauskas hits the canvas and keeps getting up. 4 knockdowns in 1 round.
Looks like the Mean Machine is breaking down here.
Final attack, and the ref stops the fight.
One more big power punch to erase Kavaliauskas once and for all, and it's done.
18 wins, 18 finishes. The machine didn't just survive the crash, it hit maximum output. After the win over Kavaliauskas, everything changed. New trainer, new rhythm. Everything shifted, except the goal. November 2021, Ortiz parts ways with Robert Garcia, the mentor who guided him through most of his career. The reason? Undisclosed. But the corner needed a fresh voice. Enter Manny Robles, a strategist with discipline and a no-nonsense approach. New voice, new tempo, new configuration, and in the very next fight, we see it in action. August 6, 2022. Ortiz returns, after the longest layoff of his career. Across the ring, undefeated Britt Michael McKinson, slick southpaw, a master of buying time. Early rounds, not in his favor. Ortiz rushes, gets impatient, doesn't listen to the corner. But then he finds the rhythm and begins to press. Round by round, he closes in. In round 8, the first crack, a clean body shot, and McKinson drops to a knee. He gets up, but something's off. Round 9, another dig to the body. Same result. McKinson goes down.
Ortiz Jr. has never seen a round number 9. What does it look like?
He rises, but his legs are gone. His trainer throws in the towel. Fight stopped.
They're waving it off, and it's over. Vergil Ortiz is back.
First time into the 9th round. Still clean, still clinical, successful defense. Another step forward. The machine isn't slowing. After McKinson, cancellations. 3 failed attempts to face Stanionis. Hospitalization. lost contender status, trainer changes, and in December, a return to Robert Garcia. Ortiz stayed silent, but the gym was electric again. 17 months out, a new weight, a new Ortiz. Facing him, a seasoned Ghanaian. But Lawson had neither the time nor the tools. Less than 3 minutes, a sharp jab clips Lawson's legs, a finishing flurry at the ropes, and the ref steps in.
Popping that jab, that's a stiff hard jab with Buckle Lawson. That jab hurt Lawson.
Here comes Ortiz.
Ortiz, he's already warmed up.
He is cranking these hooks on.
Controversial? Maybe. But what mattered? He was back. One clean win, and another comes quickly. Thomas Dulorme, experienced, durable, heavy hands. But Ortiz doesn't study files. One perfect body shot, and that's it.
Strictly business.
Chris, is that as much as we're understands
That Ortiz has. He knows how to, punch when he's at range. He doesn't waste punches when he's out of range. So that's
Good shot to the body.
Dulorme stays down, a signature finish from Ortiz, and a reminder. In any weight class, he's a threat. And right then, a monster stepped in, Serhiy Bohachuk, a fight where Ortiz himself would hit the canvas, twice, but rise and level up.
To be great, you have to fight great fighters, you have to fight the very best.
His toughest test yet, Bohachuk, the Ukrainian steel hammer. 23 knockouts in 25 fights, relentless, dense, brutal.
To slug it out. In the black trunks, the colors is his defense.
Round 1, Ortiz is down.
Nice shot over the top.
At first it looks like a slip, but the replay doesn't lie. Clean right hand, clean knockdown. Ortiz gets up and starts adapting.
The bigger issue out
Right now, what I see Bohachuk doing is he's applying pressure because he wants Vergil.
From round 3, it's war. No steps back, no breathers.
Bohachuk getting the jab. And this is the posture.
Boxing when he wants. Bohachuk needs to throw more fights.
Try and get that leverage back. Ortiz not allowing it.
Wow,
Big uppercut from Ortiz.
Round 8, another knockdown. Left hook, Ortiz hits a knee, but he doesn't break.
Shots up, changing his
With a right hand of his own.
See.
Nice left hook. And Ortiz says no, but I think the gloves touch the ground.
Rounds 9, 10, 11, all his. He pressures, targets the body, doubles the jab.
He's saying, okay,
That's a
than he expected. Fighting through the fire. Just otherworldly recuperative, but not often.
Round 12, everything on the line. Bohachuk stumbles, Ortiz running on fumes. The final bell and silence. His first decision win, his first full 12, his most brutal fight to date, and the WBC interim super welterweight title is his. Now Ortiz doesn't just have a record, he has a belt, and one clear target, Terence Crawford. After the Ukrainian pressure, came the Uzbek storm. Israil Madrimov, the unconventional master, a former world title challenger. Crawford took away his last chance. Now he brings his chaos to Ortiz, defended his belt, and now the entire division holds its breath. Who dares step forward? He didn't become a legend. He became a threat to legends.
Trust me.
With each win, fewer words. With every fight, the goal comes closer. He's fallen, he's risen, he's crushed. And each time, sharper, faster, colder. Ortiz isn't hype. He's a mechanism. And that mechanism is locked on one man, Crawford. He has the title. He has the name. Now, just one step remains. One goal, one fight, one shot to erase the past and make history. Are you ready for that moment? Because Ortiz is.